Hey guys, Nathan here. So I started Kevin Zhang's eCommerce Millionaire Mastery Program a while back, and I wanted to share my experiences with it, but I first wanted to go over my experience with making money online in general beforehand, so you know what kind of experience I have in the industry. So a few years ago, I was forced to live in a different country and I couldn't legally work there, so I had to work online to make any money at all. So for the most part, I just worked as a freelance writer. I made a little bit of money, barely enough to pay the bills, but obviously it wasn't something that I wanted to do. It was just something I had to do. And eventually, when I was looking through different options, I found online arbitrage where you can find deals online and offline and then sell them typically on eBay later. So I'd go into thrift stores and I'd go to garage sales and I'd look at prices on eBay and find out how much they were selling for and sell those products later. It was a very challenging process, and I really just wasn't experienced enough to find quality deals and know what and would not sell. So it wasn't really something that I could expand much more than, say, 100 or 200 a month. After that, I started doing a little bit of digital marketing consultancy. And then after that, I started a blog. I started a website. I started a blog about something I was really passionate about. And that was fun for a little while. And I didn't really make any money whatsoever. I was just about to start making AdSense money through AdSense and through a little bit of affiliate marketing, but I really just wasn't getting the traction I needed. And I found it to be a lot more tedious, and it required a long time to get started, especially without compensation, and I just ended up not really enjoying it. So next up, I looked into online course creation, and I wrote up and I started to record my course, but then I started going back and forth on whether or not my skill set was even high enough or good enough to warrant someone buying a course for it. So I ended up scrapping it. After that, I tried drop servicing, which is like drop shipping, but you sell services. So I was selling songwriting and graphic design, and then I would go to Fiverr, Upwork, and outsource them there. And that didn't pan out well at all either. And I was thinking about it just recently over the past year about when I was starting arbitrage, and I actually found dropshipping several years ago. But even then, people were saying that it was too saturated and not worth getting into. So that really kind of swayed me away from it. But truthfully, I can only imagine where I'd be if I had actually pursued that at the time. But that's another story in itself. But so over the last 6 months, I actually decided to look back into it. And it was around this point where I just said, instead of living in this shiny object syndrome, I'm just going to choose something and stick to it. Because if I had stuck to any of these things for all of the time that I was hopping back and forth, I would have been able to make money from it. So that was my biggest issue, is I wasn't finding the results I wanted there to be quick enough, and I kind of just said, oh well, this tactic, this venture over here looks good too, let me try that out. And I'd try it for a month, maybe 2 months, and I'd just give it up and I'd go on to the next thing. So that's shiny object syndrome, and I suffered from that greatly. And so about 6 months ago, I decided, you know what, I know that people have said that dropshipping is saturated, but e-commerce is growing every single year. It's huge, and people are just going to say that it's saturated. So I decided, I'm just going to commit to it, and I just committed to it right then and there about 5 or 6 months ago. And it was about this point that I went on a spree of researching and consuming as much education and content as I could within the dropshipping realm. So I went through a bunch of different courses, and I was really just trying to find what resonated with me, and I'd try out a couple of different things. And I tried Bia Hez's course, I tried Ecom Empires, I tried Shopify Ninja, I tried Jared Gett's class, Franklin Hatchett's class, and Watcher's Launchpad, and then I think a couple more as well. But unfortunately, none of them really worked out for me. I tried 3 different general stores and 2 different one-product stores, and I sunk a lot of time into product research. I sunk a lot of time into creating stores and making ads and creatives. And I'd never made a single sale. Granted, I wasn't the best store maker, or I wasn't the best at ads, And the big thing that I knew I had, though, was a drive to learn and a drive to take action. So I think the thing that was missing most out of these courses was the individualized support I needed really to figure out where I was going wrong and what I was not doing right. So that was the biggest downfall to these courses, I feel. So like I said, I did 3 different general stores, and for those of you that don't know, general stores are basically a type of drop shipping where you would have something like fancycooltechgadgets.com, and then you direct traffic to your products page or the whole line of products page, and you kind of just hope that 1 or 2 of the products sticks. Like, oh, the bunch of people bought that, it probably is a good product. And you kind of just go from there. And now this method is one of the most commonly seen among dropshippers, and it's what a lot of the gurus teach. It's pretty easy to set up to. Arguably, it's one of the easier ones to set up, but the problem is it became way too overused, and many people got used to seeing them and having bad experiences with them. So people have kind of become trained to recognize and just steer clear of that type of model of dropshipping store. So next up is the one product store, and this could be fancybabybowl.com. And I don't know if you guys have seen the one of the latest viral products. It's basically this food bowl inside of a ball that can roll around, and when a child is trying to eat their food, they can't knock it all over. So it was definitely a very viral product. I don't know if it still is or if it can still be much more, but this is the next step in the evolution of general stores, and it can work to a limited extent. The issue with it is it can fall out of trend overnight. With how many tools and applications there are to find successful winning products, and the ability to literally view and steal an entire working ad, including the copywriting and the creative, it just simply won't be long before your product is just snatched from you by hundreds of other dropshippers, and it'll simply be too common, too saturated, and people just won't want it anymore. It'll just be undesirable because everybody has it or everybody's seen it. So the results you bring in, they dwindle over time, and they practically die overnight. So what this results in is you are constantly on the hunt for that next big viral product, and you either have to try a new product and kind of hope it works, or do all the searching and hunting for an existing viral product, which already has a shortened duration of its effectiveness and selling. So that's really the issue with one product stores, is you are constantly at the mercy of finding that next great big product. And I hated the idea of my product, my store's lifespan just at any point could just collapse. So that it just really didn't work for me, and I didn't want to have a business like that. So I kept looking, and one day while I was browsing through YouTube, I came across Kevin Zhang, and I watched one of his videos, and then I watched another of his videos, and before long, I'd watched his entire YouTube channel, and I was just blown away by his approach to dropshipping. If you're not familiar with Kevin's approach and his method, it's called the branded niche store. And obviously he can explain it much, much better than I can, and especially about why general stores and one product stores just really aren't the way to go for long-term sustainability and long-term profit. So for those of you that don't know, Kevin actually made businesses worth over 20 million in his first year with his method. And that's a lot. I mean, I'd be happy with 6 figures, and I intend on making 6 figures this year through this method. But if I want to learn from somebody, I want to learn from the best. Shoot for the stars, and at least you'll land among the moon. That's a way I'm looking at it. If I can shoot for 20 million and only get 1 million, oh boo-hoo, I only made 1 million. So that's beside the point. As I said, his method is the branded niche method, and it's basically a mix of both general stores and a niche of one product. So he'll pick a particular niche, and then he'll develop several different subcategories into this. So for his example, in his YouTube videos, he goes over MMA fighting apparel, and in those categories, he's got tops, bottoms, and gloves. And then he sells a number of products in each of these, but it's all within one realm of somebody is interested in that realm, and they'd more than likely be interested in all of the products in there. And you develop a store that looks so professional and so high quality that people can't even tell that it's a drop shipping store. He continuously refers to the North Face and just different brands that establish themselves in a particular niche, and he goes into exactly why it's effective, how you can replicate results, and it's just, to me, it makes the most sense for a drop shipping kind of style. So he goes over what it takes to pick a good niche too, and that's really important too. If you're struggling to find out what you want to have as your niche, he goes over a few different qualifications for what makes a good, potent, powerful niche. And when I found his videos, I decided, you know what, let me just start this right. So I started a fresh site. I picked a niche, and I kind of just followed his step-by-step directions from the very beginning. The cool thing about him is he's a very straightforward guy. He's very down to earth. He's very real, and he knows his stuff. It was impressive right away. You could tell that this guy, he loves this, he's good at it, and he knows his stuff. So on top of that, I got a really good vibe from him immediately, and I could tell that he wasn't just some wealthy kid that made money from selling courses. He makes his money practicing what he preaches, and I feel like a lot of the gurus are the opposite way around. Like, maybe they had effectiveness doing something maybe years back, but they make all their money now selling the course. And I don't want to learn from somebody that makes their money teaching. I want to learn from somebody that makes their money doing what they're teaching. And that was a key difference for me, and really what stuck out to me. So I got a really good vibe from him right away, and I just dug his vibe. So I finished my store. I followed through his step-by-step method on his YouTubes, and I finished my first whole store. And I said, you know what, let me try this. And I did my first day of ads, and I actually got my first sale. I was absolutely just so exhilarated over how excited I was to make my first sale after 5 failed stores. And he was I joined his public Facebook group, and I started interacting with people there, and it was awesome. And I saw that he was actually interviewing for a private program that he was just starting up, and I knew that he offered everything you needed to start a successful branded niche store. So I said, you know what, let me check out this private program he's got going on. So I interviewed for it, and I was actually accepted, and they offered me a position in the eCommerce Millionaire Mastery program. So I said, you know what, the proof of concept has already been proven, and I actually already sold something, so I know that this works. Let me invest in myself, and I enrolled in the program, and it was private at that time, but I decided, yeah, let me try it out. And since I was already committed, I just invested. So after I enrolled, I paused my ads that day, and I shut down my store for 2 days while I consumed all of the course and all of the lessons I could, and I implemented all of his advanced strategies, because it's basically the same thing as his YouTube videos, but 10x. There's a bunch more. Obviously, there's a ton that goes into it, especially with this kind of drop shipping store. It's on the next level, really. So it's as close as you can get to starting a real business and a real brand. So I took in everything he said. I implemented everything over the course of 2 days. And when I turned on ads the following day, so not only did I make a sale the first day of running ads after implementing his advanced lessons and advanced tactics and strategies, I made 3 sales, and I made over $200 of sales that first day. And over the next few days, I made upward, I think it was almost $600 worth of sales. And I was hooked. I said, yeah, this is it. This is amazing. This is what I want to do. And I mean, just simply put, Kevin changed my life. I know that this gave me the confidence to know that I can do this. And every single day I wake up excited to check my sales, and it gives me a sense of fulfillment and just this feeling that I've been searching for so long. And one of the coolest things is, since I'm still at the beginning stages here, if you look at the courses and their modules, it goes over everything from the very beginning to scaling it all the way to the moon. It goes over the 4 different stages of dropshipping, which I don't think most people realize that there are actually 4 stages of dropshipping. So the first is basic dropshipping, which is basically your standard AliExpress dropshipping. It's where about 90%, 99% of general stores and one product stores will end their journey here, simply because they think that that's all it accumulates to. So stage 2 is actually pro dropshipping, where you've gotten to a point where you're making a good amount of sales consistently, and you can begin reaching out to the agents on AliExpress, and from there you can kind of negotiate a little bit better terms for your business. Stage 3 is white labeling, where you start implementing your own brand on products and packaging, and you're basically going to be limiting yourself to 1 to 5 suppliers and different outlets for your products, and you're basically off of AliExpress altogether. And then stage 4 is in-game, where you're basically a brand builder, where you literally have a brand that you've built up. And by this time, you're only working with 1, maybe 2 suppliers with optimal logistics, great product quality, fast shipping speed, and you can also begin to remanufacture the products that work, because you're basically the boss of your supplier. They'd much rather work with 1 consistent, reliable seller than 1,000 no-name sketchy sellers. So they'll treat you really well and they'll do what you ask of them. And that's really at a point where you really want to strive to be. So I'm really excited knowing that I have all of these things, all like the entire blueprint for how to do everything every step of the way. And I'm really excited to be able to scale up to these different enhanced stages as well. So he's got lessons that go over all 4 of these different stages, everything above, everything below, and everything in between. I think there's over 170 lessons. Obviously, I haven't gotten through them all yet. And he's also adding a few more regularly as well. So especially with the algorithm changes, he's adding a lot of content for how to optimally change the best ways to get ads to perform. So it goes over the beginning all the way from picking a niche, as I said, making your first store, making your ads, making your creatives, the philosophy behind why buyers buy. I mean, it's so in-depth and all-inclusive for everything you need to do to make your store successful, and to follow the exact blueprint that he followed to get to making $20 million his first year. So like I said, that's really what I want to strive for. So I'm definitely, obviously I'm not at the advanced stages yet, but I am seeing growth and improvement every single day, and it's incredibly exciting. So the private Facebook that you're invited to for eCommerce Millionaire Mastery it's incredibly positive, with tons of encouragement and advice being given out every single day. I try to help the new guys that are just starting too, and there are obviously a lot more successful people than myself, and really they're all just really happy to see you succeed. And I think that's one of the major differences, especially this type of dropshipping as opposed to one product in general stores, is it's a lot more comfortable to ask for advice, because not everybody's out there to steal your product and to find the viral product that you have and to kind of just steal your hard work. You can't really do that with a brand, because you're building up your brand, and it's not really feasible with this. In this program, it feels like a big family, and everybody's rooting for each other and helping each other out, giving each other advice, talking about different situations they've been in, how they've conquered those situations. and it doesn't feel like a scummy place of competition where everybody's out for themselves like it does in a lot of other courses and different private Facebook groups that I've been in. So it feels really good to be a part of. We've also got weekly phone calls where we go over all of our questions, and we also have big names in the industry that are really at the forefront of the industry. And if you have questions about where you are, what you're stuck on, Kevin and his team are just incredibly happy to help you and answer your questions for you. And that individualized attention is everything to me. That support is really why I joined the program, and it's made all the difference in the world. So there's also some really exciting new things on the horizon that are going to be offered in addition to the program already, and you don't have to pay extra or anything for it. I'm not going to go over them because I'll probably get in trouble for revealing them, but let me just say, like, these services that Kevin is going to be giving to us for free it's just immense, and the people pay hundreds if not thousands of dollars for these services, and he's going to be handing them out for free. So I'm really excited to be a part of this, and all of these things combined with just how much value and how much education comes with this program leaves me 100% confident that this is going to be the biggest and most successful e-com course online by the end of the year, if not sooner. Like, I am 100% sure of it. I got really lucky by finding it early on, and it all really roots from his desire to provide value and personalized education to the little guys like myself. I've talked to Kevin personally a bunch of times, and he's always been super helpful and personalized to my issues, and able to, not just like, all right, everybody that's having issues with this, he says, no, Nathan, your issue is this, fix this, and you're good to go. And having that attention on me personally it just makes all the difference in the world. And the thing is, you got to realize that, like with any online business, this is not a get rich quick scheme, and you have to put in the time. So I will say, if you are hoping that you can just flip a switch and it turns on your $1 million, it doesn't work that way. It is a lot of work, but it's rewarding, it's fulfilling, and you can see the progress you're making, and it feels so good. It feels so unbelievably good. It's just 100% changed my life, and I'm very grateful for EMM and Kevin and the whole gang. And we actually have a meetup coming in Miami. Actually, Kevin's going to be speaking there, but a lot of the members of EMM are going to be going over there, and I'm really excited to go down and meet them, shake their hands, just kind of get to know them in person. So I'm super looking forward to that. But after I found out, actually, Kevin just announced that we're going to be opening the doors to more members for EMM. And when I found out, I was super excited because this has changed my life, and I wanted to share the knowledge and the amazing experience I've gained through this, and I want to help others achieve their dreams as well. And I think that it's if you are willing to invest in yourself, financially, and putting in the time and the work, the payoff is just, it's immense. It's absolutely worth it. So actually, Kevin and his team hooked me up with an affiliate link that I'll link down below in the description. But honestly, even if you don't want to use my link, please go check out his free videos on YouTube. It's enough to get you going like I did. And if you want to speed things up, if you want to rank it up to the next level, consider coming back from my affiliate link, and we'll both gain from your successes. Either way, tell them that Nathan sent you here, and they actually will give you a free viral product report where they kind of go over everything that's really popping month to month to month, and really just kind of give you some good inspiration for where you may want to be going. So make sure to mention my name, Nathan, while you're there, and they'll hook you up. So I'll definitely keep you guys posted on how all this proceeds week by week with a comment here, so I can further document my experiences and my successes. I'm really excited about the future. If you do decide to join up, guys, awesome. You're making a great investment in yourself and in your future. And I will see you guys on the conversations, and I'll talk to you on the weekly calls. Thanks, guys. See ya.